Welcome to Animated Discussions. My friends call me D, and today this message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
In 5 seconds.
In 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
5 seconds.
In this 8th installment of the franchise, Ethan Hunt has been everywhere, fought every foe, and saved the world a million times over. Now, everything he has done has led to this final stand. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. This movie stars Tom Cruise, Haley Atwell, Ving Rhames, and is directed by Christopher McQuarrie. Guys, I'm gonna be straight with you. I haven't seen a lot of Mission Impossible movies.
Shocker.
With this being the first time I'm really grasping the movie and understanding it, I've decided to rename the Mission Impossible franchise to Tom Cruise's
A terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
My friend let me know that this is just how Mission Impossible goes, and now I need to watch every MI with a soothing cup of tea, because how does this guy have so many bad days and how does he get out of all of them? The amount of things that have gone wrong while he's doing every part of the mission. Whew! Stressed. Armpits sweaty. Vomit on my sweater already. Mom spaghetti. Some of the things that I loved about this movie, some of the shots reminded me of things from Sin City. There are a few movies that have like that comic book, like dynamic posing that I felt I saw in this movie. So it was just very interesting to me. It also made the pacing very interesting because the way they would cut to things in some instances felt jarring to me, but not necessarily in a bad way. I was just like, oh, I feel like I'm looking at panel after panel after panel after panel, and I love that. I'm a sucker for a good comic book. Also, Angela Bassett as the president made sense to me. Just, I needed that moment. And I think she's been president for a few of the movies now, but I haven't seen them, so I didn't know. It's another reason I should go back and watch Mission Impossible, because it just makes me feel better. I start to think of what could have been. There was also a moment where Angela Bassett really shined for me. It was during an extremely hard part of the movie, during her character arc, and the actions she took, I think, were twofold for me. It made it feel less realistic, because I don't know that anyone would have done what she did, but I loved that that's the action she chose, and it made me respect her character more.
Brilliant.
Her whole arc put the movie in layman's terms for me, as someone who has not watched the franchises and all these strings from different movies were tying into this moment. It helped me understand the gravity of the situation and the way that her character handled that. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It does change, I feel, the realism of the movie, but we're not here for a realistic movie. It's Mission Impossible. It's supposed to be insane. So, but it was probably my favorite part of the movie, honestly. There were some moments that I felt were dragging on way too long. However, they built the tension so well in those scenes that I was like, well, they're doing what they're intending to do. There are so many moments where I was just like, I know this is going on for a long time, but I am like stressed in this moment. And it's Mission Impossible. You know Ethan Hunt is gonna get through it impossibly. Like, that's the whole point of the franchise. However, I was still stressed because I was like, how is he gonna get out of this? And that's insane. Like, especially someone who I love a lot of action movies. So I'm not usually surprised when someone gets out of something. It's just more how. But this, I was like, how is this gonna happen? I was so stressed.
I'm sweating.
One thing about Tom Cruise, that man is passionate about what he does. Check out this interview of him with the airplane scene.
Another thing I will say. When you watch Tom tonight, there's a moment where he's in an airplane. He's in a biplane, completely alone. He's at the controls, and his biplane suffers some damage. Spoiler, there's tension in this scene. And there's a moment where the camera's in profile, and Tom Cruise looks over at the damaged strut of his biplane, and the camera throws focus. And it's this beautiful backlit shot, there's sun, and you see this vibrating strut. And Tom turns back, and the camera racks focus to Tom. I want you to remember there's no crew with Tom in an airplane at 10,000 feet above Africa. Tom is lighting the shot by how he's positioning the plane in its relationship to the sun, and he's operating focus just off camera. He is the crew.
I don't watch a lot of Tom's movies, but one thing I think I can say pretty confidently is I don't think we will ever see another actor who is as passionate about filmmaking in the way that Tom is, in the way that he does all these stunts, trains for all these things, has broken however many bones, just because he loves the insanity of the craft so much. It's very fascinating to me, and it's something that I respect and admire. I wonder if I have ever loved anything so much. But it's so fascinating to see what he's willing to go through to get the shot. One thing I love about Something Familiar is that Pavlov experience that you get with music in movies, especially franchises. Even for someone who hasn't seen the Mission Impossible franchise, that music puts me in a certain mood. You know what you're about to get into. It's such a similar feeling to The Incredibles. The Incredibles has a very similar theme song. As well, it is just that spy action, like you know what you're about to get into, and I love how that ties into the movie making process. You are conditioning your audience and preparing them for what they're about to see. Jaws has that now for what I feel like didn't work so well. There are some tropes that were really played out in this movie. They were very cookie cutter, and I was very disappointed to see them. I think for a series that's so dynamic and has such a strong following, it doesn't need to rely on those. There are tropes that are classic, stand the test of time, and are good. And then there are others I'm like, we haven't grown past this yet. I feel like we had a couple here that were like, we don't need this anymore. The argument could be made that because the movie was trying to go so big in other directions that it needed quick answers here. I could see that.
Barely.
It does beg the question to me, however, what is the goal of a franchise? Because think about it. Is it just to bring the same people over and over to the theater, or is it to push the envelope and develop beyond what it was before? How do we want to grow as filmmakers when we have a chance to play with the same source material multiple times? Yes, I know the answer is we want people to come to the theater over and over again. I know that that's the answer. However, because think of it this way, as often as we do see sequels nowadays, it is very rare that one gets to 8. That's crazy rare. And to have such a world to play in, I feel like those are the safest spots. I feel like those are the safest spots to have fun and to play around and to explore and push the envelope a little bit. You have a way to still keep the heart of the movie, the heart of the franchise, while also trying new things. And I know that Hollywood's so afraid of trying new things because they just want what they know is going to make them money. But it's moments like this where I'm like, this is just really disappointing. So for me, that's like the biggest negative. I will also say, even though the pacing did build the tension for me, the movie was 2 hours and 40 minutes. I think we could still build the tension without it being my whole afternoon, basically. I don't think that having a 3-hour movie is bad when it's necessary. I don't know that a 3-hour movie was necessary. Again, it's the end of an era, so I know they wanted to go out with a bang, and I respect that. I just feel like there could have been a better way to do that.
Try something new.
For a movie I wasn't planning to watch, I will say this exceeded my expectations for sure. It somehow still held a bit of nostalgia for me, which for someone who hasn't seen the movie, that's really impressive. I don't know if the director did it, if the writing did it, but something happened that by the end of the movie I was like, You done good, Tom. You know, it was very interesting, and I really appreciated that. I would give this movie 3 out of 5 burning parachutes. And it gets 4th in the list of movies for 2025 so far. Let me know if and how much you disagree. Totally fine if you do. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you have a great day, and see you later.